Good morning, everyone. I'm Dave McGowan, the president of the DuPage Foundation, and it's definitely our pleasure to welcome you here this morning. It's certainly one of our favorite days of the year. We get to celebrate our grant recipients and all the outstanding work you do throughout the year in our community. I'd like to start by thanking our current and former board members, committee members, and trustees emeriti for all their ongoing support throughout the year. So if they would stand or wave and be recognized, please. In particular, I'd like to recognize Trustee Emerita Betty Bradshaw, who is our host for breakfast this morning. This year, the foundation has achieved many milestones. Earlier this year, we celebrated the awarding of our 5,000th grant, and just a few weeks ago, we hit the $30 million mark in total grants distributed. If you're doing the math, our 30-year anniversary was last year. It comes to about $1 million a year, but in fact, about half of that was granted in just the last 4 years alone. So we're definitely on a trajectory. We're growing quickly. I can proudly say that our asset size just went over the $70 million mark, and within the next few weeks, we will have achieved a milestone of nearly $90 million. You see, sure, okay. The Gustafson Family Foundation, a longtime partner of the foundation, will be merging its $17 million foundation into a donor-advised fund at the DuPage Foundation. We're certainly thrilled that they've chosen to partner with us in this way. And on behalf of the Gustafson board, in particular its president, Al Gustafson, I could say that he and we are hopeful that this is an example of where the sum is greater than its parts. Very excited to be working with them. Thanks for being here to share our vision of raising the quality of life throughout DuPage County. When we bring our grantees and donors together, we are among DuPage's finest. And speaking of DuPage's finest, here comes one now. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Joseph Weidenbach, chair of our grant committee.
Thank you, Dave. And again, my name is Joe Weidenbach, and I'm a trustee. I have the privilege of being a trustee for the DuPage Foundation, and I also chair the grant committee. Let me give you a few tidbits about what it is we do. So the grant committee itself is comprised of a select group of individuals, trustees, volunteers. I spend a lot of time deliberating, making determinations, and in some instances, real tough decisions, because I'm going to give you some statistics here that bear that out, that very often there's more asks than there are opportunities to award grants, and you are among the select group that in this grant cycle that we're able to, on the good side of it, let's just say that. So they're tough decisions we need to make, but thank you for everything you do. I do want to ask the grant committee to stand, the volunteers and trustees and board members. So for all members of the grant committee, could you please stand and be acknowledged? So the Community Needs Grant cycle is a cycle that in the spring we look at health and human services, which is what we're talking about today. And in the fall we talk about and address arts and culture, the environment, and education. So today we're going to award health and human services grants that will represent about 60% of the total Community Needs Grant budget. Let me give you some statistics that speak to what I was referring to before. There were 61 health and human services grants that were considered, totaling about $800,000. So there's the need. What we were able to do was award 61% of the organizations themselves were actually on the plus side of that as part of our general endowment field of interest. Are you getting background noise? Okay, sorry about that. And donor advised funds. So what we've done effectively is we're at about $483,000 in total grants, which is an all-time high that was propped up there by not only our budget itself, but the donor advised constituency, which was about $142,000. So let me give you some perspective. We have a budget. We have a lot of asks, a big budget, and we deliberate, and we have to make some tough decisions. And then we have this select group of individuals who set up donor-advised funds who come in, and Barb Sapaniak, our Vice President for Programs, who I'm going to announce formally at the end of my remarks, will connect with the donor-advised constituency to help us say, between the periods that we're deliberating, to be able to connect and say, hey, maybe there's something that aligns with that, with what the donor-advised intent is. So there's 4 people that really played our 4 donor-advised programs that were very meaningful this time through. And I'm going to ask these folks to stand because they really helped out tremendously. Jim and Judy Biancalana, right there. Thanks, Jim and Judy. Jim Heinking. Where's Jim? Hi, Jim. Jim and Ruth Ann Snodgrass. And Perry Todd. Perry Todd. Where's Perry? I saw her earlier. There you are. Great. So a big tip of the hat to them. And thank you to all of you, all of the donors who have made the last 30, 31 odd years what it is and what we're doing. I think when you think about what the DuPage Foundation does, it's connecting needs with people with needs, and it's just a terrific organization. I'll say that it's been, next to being a father and a husband, I think the most rewarding thing I've done personally. And Dave, thanks for your leadership. And Barb Sapaniak, who's our Vice President for Programs, I want to announce now for your leadership, but welcome, Barb.
Good morning. Good morning. Oh, I feel like I'm in church. One of the best ways to understand the Foundation's grant making is by hearing from clients who have been served by the organizations that we have given grants to. I want to thank our speakers that are going to be talking. They're from local organizations, and I really appreciate that you're here and your willingness to share your stories with us. Through its transitional housing program, 360 Youth Services is serving homeless youth and helping them to chart a path from homelessness to independence. Our first speaker, Mark Granberry, will share how this organization inspired and challenged him to go outside his comfort zone in order to achieve his goals. He recently completed his dental assistant program, and the 360 Youth staff wanted me to be sure to emphasize that they are so proud of his accomplishments. So Mark, I know he's on. Mark, oh, Mark.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. I had a tough time getting up. I'm just kidding. I'm Mark. I'm with 360 Youth Services. I'm one of their clients. I mostly came to 360 just for safety reasons, actually. Before, I used to be living in my car for 2 weeks, job searching, and
Sorry.
And at first I would have to literally survive based off of baby wipes, deodorant, just to keep up on hygiene. And I did so well to make sure no one knew that I was homeless. And it was until I met Demir Dijidik, the program manager, that I could actually get an opportunity to actually have a housing and take care of my hygiene. And not only that, but get a job. I started at Joseph A. Banks retailer in downtown Naperville. Then I moved to Country Inn & Suite as a night auditor, and then I went to the DuPage Housing Authority, and then I went to dental assisting school at DuPage. And I actually never expected myself to step inside the dentistry field this early. I wanted to be a dental hygiene, but the fact that I was able to become a dental assistant through this program really amazes me. It's kind of hard to actually believe that I got this far. I wasn't seeing myself stepping into dentistry for another 5 or 10 years, but they've been doing it now is really a blessing, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark. So many people intuitively understand the benefits that positive interactions, can you hear me? The positive interactions with animals can have on our lives, and research is also showing and recognizing that as well. Friends for Therapeutic Equine Activities is a local organization that provides a program, a horseback riding program, to serve the special needs of people that have physical, emotional, and cognitive challenges. Our next speakers, Letha Walling and her son John Paul, will talk about the difference this organization has made in their lives.
Okay. Winfield, for me, has been my home for the last 28 years. And because of that, I just knew that FTA happened to be in Winfield. There was no question in my mind that once I got John Paul home, who has cerebral palsy, to the United States, he would be taking horseback riding lessons there at the FTA. In the evening, when John Paul and I lived together in Haiti, we would watch movies on my computer. And one of his favorite movies, besides Frozen, was a movie called Second Chances. And that movie is based on a true story about a 10-year-old girl who lives with her mom after they survived a car accident that took the life of her father. She was unable to walk without crutches and had obviously deep emotional wounds that were changed once she met and fell in love with a horse. And I bought the movie as an inspiration of what a person can do if they persevere. Unbeknown to me at the time, John Paul was very afraid of horses. So it's surprising it became one of his favorite movies. And his grandpa in Haiti had a horse that was used as transportation. He started his lessons once he got home to the United States. He started those lessons in January of 2015. He was a natural. Never showed fear. This is a boy who came to the U.S. barely walking with a walker. These lessons have contributed greatly to the improvement of his physical strength and balance. There's not an ounce of fat on this guy. I mean, talk about a six-pack. Being all boy and highly competitive, the lessons gave him the opportunity to, you guys can't see him over there, sorry. He knows I'm speaking the truth. To immediately participate in a sport. In fact, this mom doesn't quite understand how to layer clothes yet because he's going to swim lessons after this. So I'm like, I could have put the shirt and the tie over the swim outfit. I didn't think of that. I just thought, oh, we have no time to change, and I know people are going to be in their ties and suits. So, and Haitians, they dress up. First day of school, he's got a suit on. Last day of school, church, anything, school pictures, he's got that three-piece suit on. Okay, now it just disappeared. All right, although he is not mature maybe enough to articulate this, I feel being around these majestic animals has given him confidence. Just yesterday, he was waiting to get on what I call a normal-sized horse, one that I probably would feel comfortable getting on. And this is the first time he got on a horse this size. And so we're sitting there waiting, and he kept saying, I'm really, really, really scared. But he rode that horse no differently than he had ridden the previous horses that were a little on the smaller side. So I thank you all for supporting this program, which supported him.
What an inspiration. Thank you so much for sharing your story. In 2012, we launched our Bright and Early DuPage initiative with the vision of all children in DuPage County prepared to succeed when they enter kindergarten. Through this initiative, we are going community by community, and we're helping to support them to build collaborative systems to address the issues and barriers that impact kindergarten readiness in that community. Today, we are awarding almost $320,000 in grants to support 5 local early childhood collaborations and 1 countywide hub. And each of these collaborations is doing something different with the funding that we're giving them. Our funding to the Bensonville Early Learning Supporters, otherwise known as BELLS, has been used specifically to support outreach, to identify isolated and at-risk families in that community. They have achieved some significant wins as a result of the data they've collected through their outreach and as a result of the partnerships they have established with local organizations. Many of you are in this room. This fall, they will be opening up an early childhood center that will serve 80 at-risk children. Last year, they applied for a prevention initiative grant from the state, and they received $206,000, which was 4 times what they had received in the previous 10 years. I think that's pretty amazing, and that's collaboration at work. Our next speaker, Cruz Gonzalez, was introduced to BELLS through an outreach event and has been connected to multiple services in the county. She will share her story about the impact this collaboration has had on her family's life, and her translator, her home visitor, Grace Yala, is going to help translate her message.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to speak in Spanish. Mi nombre es Cruz González. He vivido en Bensenville por 14 años. Tengo 3 hijos de 18, 13 y Cristian de 2 años. Estoy aquí para hablar sobre mi experiencia con el programa educativo de recién nacidos a 3 años del Distrito Escolar de Bensenville y de la colaboración de BELLS.
My name is Cruz Gonzalez. I lived in Bentonville for 14 years. I have 3 children, ages 18, 13, and Christian, who's 2 years old. I'm here to speak about my experience with the Bentonville's Birth to 3 education program and BELLS collaboration.
Mi primera experiencia fue hace 6 meses cuando estaba en la biblioteca de Bensenville. Una persona del distrito escolar, Blanca Cruz, se acercó a mí. Ella estaba organizando una actividad.
My first experience was about 6 months ago when I was at the Bentonville Library. I was approached by a school district employee named Blanca Cruz who was organizing an outreach event.
Estaba con mi hijo. Ella me preguntó si estaba interesada en el programa de desarrollo infantil para mi hijo. No estaba segura de qué tipo de programa me ofrecía o cómo ayudaba a mi hijo, pero estaba interesada en aprender más. Acepté el programa y una semana después conocí a Arcelia Garay. Aquí es donde mi aprendizaje empezó.
I was with my son. She asked me if I was interested in an early childhood program for him. I wasn't sure what type of program this was or how it pertained to my child, but I was interested in learning more. I said yes. A few weeks after, my home visitor, Celia Gray, knocked at my door. This was where my learning began.
He aprendido la importancia que tiene la rutina y también leerle a mi hijo antes de dormir libros apropiados para su edad y cómo esta rutina prepara su cerebro para irse a dormir. También me han enseñado que por medio del juego mi hijo aprende y que yo como mamá soy su primera maestra.
I've learned that the importance of routine and that using age-appropriate books before bed could prepare his brain for sleep. She also taught me that play was my child's work and that I was his first and best teacher.
La Biblioteca Pública de Bensenville organiza actividades semanales de lectura que le dan a mi hijo la oportunidad de socializar con otros niños. Por parte de este proceso de socialización y el estar expuesto continuamente a actividades de la biblioteca, he aprendido a seleccionar material literario apropiado para mi hijo de 2 años. También aprendí que mi hijo prefiere libros de insectos y de hormigas y que puede él estar sentado por un tiempo largo cuando está haciendo algo creativo con sus manos.
The Bentonville Public Library organizes weekly story activities that gave my child the opportunity to socialize with other children. Through this process and consistent exposure to the library activities, I learned the appropriate literacy materials for a 2-year-old, and I learned that my child prefers books about bugs and ants and that he can sit down for a long period of time when he is able to use his hands to create something.
En adición a las visitas al hogar, he asistido a los talleres de padres presentados por un equipo de profesionales de Proyecto Health y de YWCA. Con ellos aprendí simples actividades de ciencia y matemáticas que puedo incorporar a mi rutina.
In addition to the home visiting, I attend workshops by a team of professionals from Project Health and YWCA. where I learned about simple science and math activities that I can incorporate into my daily routine.
Otros servicios que recibí fue de la intervención temprana. He tenido algunas preocupaciones sobre el desarrollo del lenguaje de mi hijo y por medio de este programa me hicieron el referido. La intervención temprana me ha contactado y tenemos una cita programada para evaluar el desarrollo de mi hijo.
Another service I received was for my child was early intervention. Early on, I had some concerns about his language development. My home visitor made a referral for him, and now I have an appointment scheduled for a speech evaluation.
Finalmente, estoy empezando a entender la importancia de enfocarme en mí misma durante las sesiones mensuales con el Departamento de Salud del Condado de DuPage. He aprendido que para que mi familia esté saludable y feliz, primero yo tengo que trabajar en mí misma para ser un buen ejemplo.
Finally, and most importantly, I'm beginning to understand the importance of working on myself. Through monthly one-on-one sessions with the DuPage County Health Department, I'm learning that in order for my family to be healthy and happy, I must set the example and work on myself first. My children are only as healthy as I am.
También estoy atendiendo a las clases de GD en español en la Biblioteca Pública de Bensenville por medio del Colegio de DuPage, que espero terminar pronto.
I'm also working and attending Spanish GED classes offered at the Bensenville Library through the College of DuPage. I hope to be done soon.
Antes de involucrarme con la colaboración de Bells, mi hijo no era parte de ningún programa para la temprana edad. Era muy tímido y no socializaba con otros niños. Yo deseaba que él pasara menos tiempo viendo televisión y más tiempo afuera, pero no sabía dónde ir. Por medio de Blanca y sus esfuerzos de outreach y de Arcelia, he tenido la oportunidad de conectarme con muchos diferentes servicios que me ayudaron a ser mejor mamá.
Before my involvement with the Bells collaboration, my child was not involved in an early childhood program. He was very shy, he did not socialize with other children. I knew I wanted him to spend less time watching television and more time outside, but I wasn't sure how or where to go. Because of Blanca and her outreach efforts and Arcelia, I was able to connect to many different services and help me be a better parent.
Estoy agradecida con el Distrito 2 de Bensenville y con la colaboración de Bells, quien me enseñaron que yo soy la primera maestra de mi hijo y que hay personas buenas en este mundo a las que les importa el bienestar de las familias y de la comunidad en la que vivo.
I am grateful to the Bensenville School District 2, the Bells collaboration, who showed me that I am my child's first teacher, that there are kind people and genuine people out there that care about the well-being of my family and the community I live in. Thank you.
How about one more round of applause for our incredible speakers? En particular, señora González, gracias para estas palabras de inspiración. Estamos muy felices que conocerte y que podemos ayudarte. What can I say after this amazing morning of good food, great company, and engaging conversation? Well, one thing I can say is thank you to the staff team that puts these events together. If everybody could come in the room or come to the doorway there, we've got Sabrina Lear, Bill Perch, Mike Citrick, Debbie Venezia, David Weiss, Rachel Welling, and the heavy lifting for today and throughout the year in our grant-making programs, Barb Sapaniak and Laura Ernst. Ta-da! Thank you, gracias. Apparently, some of you got caught up in the morning, the beautiful weather, the great food, the conversation, and you forgot you came here to pick up the check. So, if I could have you meet us back out on the terrace, yes, after breakfast, we'd appreciate that. Give you your picture and get the picture taken, give you your check. Thank you so much for all that you do. The donor advisors in the room, the grantees, for all the powerful work that you do day by day. And if you have a few words of inspiration you'd like to leave behind in that regard, we're videotaping a few messages, so if you have something you'd like to tell the community or tell us, please stop by and we'll get that recorded. Thank you again for a great morning. Have a great day.